Okay, we're talking about Roofman and joining me now as the director. So tell me a little bit about the process that went into making this movie. I know you've done tons of research and tons of interviews.
Yeah, so I had heard the story of Jeffery Manchester, and I was intrigued by it, and I needed to talk to him. So he's in a maximum security prison in Raleigh, North Carolina. I got him my number, and he started calling me about 4.5 years ago, and he's a very intriguing, person. He's very jovial. He's very funny. There was a time midway through my conversations with him when I started to realize this sounds crazy. I feel like, I started to question: are you just telling me like tall tales? I mean, he's a very good storyteller, and most good storytellers embellish. So I started to ask if I could speak with people in his life. So I spoke with everyone in his life that would speak with me. I spoke to his mom, I spoke to his brother, I spoke to the sergeant that led the task force that arrested him, I spoke to the judge that sentenced him to 45 years. I spoke with his girlfriend, Lee Wainscott, at the time. I spoke with the pastor of the church. I spoke with so many people. I spoke with a prison truck driver, this guy named Charles Cummings. And at the end of my conversation with him, shook hands, and he was like, "Hey, I got one question. Who are you gonna get to play me in the movie?" And I said, "Well, you got any ideas?" And he was like, "I think it should be me." And so I said, "Okay, you got the role." So the point is like all these people came in to validate and to tell me that what Jeff had been telling them was real. Just tried to make the movie like a home movie, with these people playing different versions of them in from real life.
And it is nice that you made it so authentic. But watching the movie, there are so many crazy things that happen and just how the story progresses. Do you think that people may wonder what parts are embellished and what parts actually happened?
Sure, yeah. As Jeff told me early on, he said, "Look, Derek, this is my story, but it's your movie." He was like, "You have to tell it the way you see fit." And so I didn't make a documentary. I made something that was searching for cinematic truth, because there's certain themes and certain things that would like show his character or show the character of the situation in a more accurate way. Sometimes for efficiency, but for the most part, the movie is the story as it happened to Jeff.
And you're still in contact with Jeff today.
Yeah.
What has his reaction been like to the movie, and any plans moving forward?
Yeah, Jeff just called me yesterday when I got off the plane here in Dallas. First thing he said to me is, he said, "Derek, if I could give you a huge hug, I would do it." He said, "I just spoke to my sister, who doesn't always answer my calls," and he was like, she saw the movie, and he said we had the best time talking to each other. He was like, it was like we were in high school again. Jeff is eligible for parole in 2036. I asked him what his plans are when he gets out. He said he was going to be maybe a Walmart greeter. I told him I don't know if the big box stores are going to hire him with his history, and he said that maybe he'll be a dolly grip in movies. We'll definitely consider giving him a job.
I love to hear that,
Yeah.
Especially with how closely you guys have worked together on this film.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a partnership.
And let's talk a little bit about the viewer experience for this movie. Going in there, you're laughing, you're on the edge of the seat wondering what's going to happen next with this, with all the twists and turns. But also it brings a little bit of nostalgia with the Toys R Us and just seeing that massive facility come back to life.
Yeah, well, we had to, there was no big box store Toys R Us when we shot this, but we went down to the place where the movie took place, and the Toys R Us where Jeff actually lived is now this church called Vision Church. So we couldn't shoot there, but we found another Toys R Us, an empty shell. It was 45,000 square foot open space. There was no tiles, there was no lights. All the copper had been stripped out of the place, and so we had to bring that thing back to life. One tile, one light bulb, one shelving unit at a time, and then one Tickle Me Elmo doll at a time. We had to fill that thing up with so many period toys. And I remember it was like we didn't really have the budget to do it, and the way I convinced my producers to just put everything they could into the movie was I told them I promised Channing Tatum I'd build him a toy store. And no one wanted to let Channing Tatum down.